Neecee Lexy, unleash the power of your creativity. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Neecee Lexy Live as we go virtually from around the world to bring you the best of talents. And we always bring in artists, well as some public figures and CEOs. So today I'm super excited to be bringing you the one and only Mayang Tut. He is the founder of the Nile Boda Inc., which is a transportation service in Juba, South Sudan. The Nile Boda makes door-to-door traveling easy and secure. Today we'll be talking about technology, transportation, as well as business. We are super thrilled to have him here for the first time. Obviously, he's a young man with a lot of talents and also business mindset, and I'm super excited to be having him today. For the first time, please welcome Mayang. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much.
Awesome. First of all, welcome to our show. So for our Canadian viewers who basically learning from you for the first time, can you tell us about who is Mayang?
Yeah, as you said, my name is Mayang Tut. 24 years old. I base here in Juba. I have my bachelor degree in human resource management in Addis Ababa in 2018, and with little bit of tech skilled.
Mhm.
So I I run a transportation company called Nile Boda, which is basically it's a transportation company that is basically dealing with movement around. Of the people around the city. So that's the short description I can do about myself.
Amazing. Only 24 years old and doing so much already. First of all, I want to say congratulations. I feel like we need more of you in the country.
Thank you.
Yeah. So why transportation? What got you inspired to become a business owner and have a transportation company?
Yeah, as we understand that the country has just recovered from a lot of many different things that have happened in the past.
Mhm.
I grew up somewhere far from South Sudan, and when I graduated, the time I decided to come back home and then find what to do. I can say I decided to come back home and find a reason for living, like to find what I'm good at, what I can do, either to get myself a job or to start something else. So that is when we came across the what we are doing. So what inspired us and what kept us on moving on what we're doing right now is that when you look at the transportation industry in South Sudan, it's not fixed. So there had been a lot of things happening within the time. The motorcycle riders, there have been a lot of issues. There's no platform whereby the person can come and record a cycle online or a bike or a car online, and then it can come and pick you and take you to wherever you wanted to go. So most of those things were not there. So the time we came back, we just feel like we are the right people who can do most of these things. We know how technology is, how powerful it is, and all that. So we decided to introduce the reliable transportation system that you can access anywhere you are, and then it can come pick you and drop you from wherever you wanted to go. So one of the biggest reason also is that I don't know if you've been seeing a lot of things that have been happening in Juba right now. I mean, some days ago, there had been a lot of deaths, a lot of accidents. Motorcycle riders are not putting on helmet and the jacket, and it's because there's nobody who is like trying to educate them and tell them how good it is. So when we came into the market, we introduced the helmet and the jacket and most of the safety rules and all this. So that is when now the issues are trying to, like, accidents are trying to reduce bit by bit,
Mhm.
because in Juba teaching hospital, there's close to 60 or 50, close to 100 accidents that are reported in every week, and most of those things are motorcycle riders. So
Mhm.
we feel like we really need to take some time to educate our people on the safety measures and all of this. So these are the things that help us. These are the things that inspired us. We just want to create a reliable transportation system that can be used, that can be accessible by everyone around the city. It's not only on motorcycles. We're trying to venture into many different things, but we started with motorbike because it's the only reliable transportation system in East Africa, not only South Sudan. And that's it's only reliable transportation system in East Africa that is being used by a lot of people. And that's the reason why we first pick interest in doing that before we venture into the rest of the transportation system.
Awesome. And how were you able to connect the technology and the safety part of things as well as like transportation? Is it more like the Uber ride stuff that you guys are doing, or is it more like the the bikes are having specific stations that pick people from point A to Z? Like how are you guys operating?
Yeah, in Nile Boda, we operate in three different ways. We have a ride-hailing system, which is basically working like Uber. You know, in South Sudan, we don't have Uber. So me and my team decided to build our own. That was the main idea. But, you know, idea really works so much when you start to work on them, like you start to work in the idea. If I can give you an example of the person of Mark Zuckerberg that started Facebook. It was just basically for a small community of Harvard inside the campus. And he started working on that until he connected the whole world. So we started with the ride hailing system, which is basically the app. Okay. We just want to connect the riders with the customers. Okay. Wherever you are, you can be able to, a customer can come and request you, and then you can go customer and take him to wherever you wanted to go. But when we see interest on a lot of young people wanted to work, but they cannot afford to buy their own bike. Okay, so we have a partnership deal with some big motorcycles companies outside the country. We bring bike, and then we lease the bike to them. Okay, on a contract basis.
Mentioning basically the the different features that you guys have in running this NileBoda.
Yes. So we have a app which is like an Uber, which is basically there. Anyone can come and use it. That make the transportation very easy around the city. And then we have two departments. We have asset financing, which is just a department that is giving opportunities to the young people who wanted to work, because you know the only easy job that a young person can do in South Sudan is just getting on the street and being on a border rider. But they cannot afford to buy their own bike by themselves. As a company, we have a little bit of capacity to get some bike, and then we lease it to them at a contract base. You applied, our team do the betting process, they verified your information, your grantors they come and then they applied. Your grantors come, they signed. So after all this, and then we take you to Nile Boda Academy for training to make sure that you're being trained, you know how to ride very well, you know the safety rules and all this. So then from there we'll give you the bike. So this is asset financing, and then we have asset investment, which is for people like which is for investors right now. You can just come, you buy the bike from the companies, because we have a store where we park the bike from. You buy the bike from the company, you sign a contract with the company. It is on us right now to put that bike on the market. We find people who's going to ride it at our term and conditions. And what we are going to be paying you is 10% of what you used to buy the bike, okay, every single month. So it's you right now having an asset that is working for you. So we are just trying to also introduce investment culture, whereby now people really know that it's not about having money, but it's about having asset that generate you resources. So these are the three ways we operate in Nile Boda.
Awesome. That's really fantastic. And I like the fact that, you guys are covering all the grounds from not only the consumer side, but the business side of things. So it's really amazing to see that, so more people can actually invest in the company and grow and give more opportunity and jobs for young people that are in South Sudan. That's really good.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to ask you, obviously, with regards to like the pandemic, just the way people moving around, obviously here in Canada, a lot of the transportation had to change with the system to also encompass like what was going around us, like making sure that the safety of the people were a priority, and then making sure the sanitization and all that stuff in place. How were you guys able to kind of maneuver, or did COVID-19 or the pandemic actually impacted your transportation service in that aspect?
Yes, actually, COVID has really affected most of the businesses operating around the cities. But at some point, it's all about now trying to come up with the right process and the right way of how to make sure that the businesses that are moving are working on to well. So
Mm-hmm.
what we have done is that we uh, back in the days, motorcycle riders used to carry like two people, okay, plus the driver. I mean, plus the rider.
Mm-hmm.
So we came and introduced that you can only carry one person, and you also respect the COVID rules and COVID and all this. And when you happen to carry the customer that might be having some kind of symptoms and all this, it can be reported and all. You also carried with your sanitizers and all this. So
Mm-hmm.
transportation system on the motorbike is something that we cannot avoid. We cannot stop moving around because the pandemic is there, because this is the only reliable transportation system
Mm-hmm.
in the whole of the East Africa. So we just copy up now with how to make sure that they respect the COVID rules, how make sure that they have instant checkup after every 2 weeks, because you interact with a lot of different peoples and
Mm-hmm.
all this. So you have your mask on all the time. So that is how we've been moving on with it. But it has really, there's a lot of motorcycle riders who have just like laid down their bike. But at some point they realize that it's just going to be like this. So there's no end, there's no ending part for it. So they have just continued. So
That's amazing. That's really great, to
that is what we have done at our own personal level.
wow, that's cool, really cool. And obviously, I know recently you posted something about minimizing like the border theft in the city of Juba. How are you guys making sure that obviously you are trying to grow a company and you're trying to excel and actually grow it into a way that there's more opportunity for people, but then the safety of those border that you're having in your shop, how are you able to minimize that, the theft of it, and making sure that you guys are operating correctly?
With Nile Boda, we have a tracking system that we're using that we first bought for only Nile Boda bikes, okay, for Nile Boda only. I mean, for Nile Boda riders. So
Mm-hmm.
we have that platform we're using for tracking, like every single bike that belongs to the company, have a GPS tracking system. So if there's anything happen, or the riders run away, or it has been robbed from the rider,
Mm-hmm.
we can be able to track it and get it back to the office. So that's how we've been doing that. And then we realized that also the border riders themselves who are outside, like individual border riders, are also facing the same challenge. So there is close to 40 bikes, going to 47 right now, that can be taken in the week by the robberies and thieves. Okay, they can just pretend like they are customers, and then they come, they help you, don't. They might even sometimes kill you, and then they take your bike. So a lot of border riders have been facing that.
Wow.
And this is the industry that we operate in, even though we don't have an intention of starting something else before. That me and my team sit down and we agreed on starting our own tracking company. And instead of using the tracking system as for NileBoda bike, we want to make sure that we provide it to each and every single motorcycle riders who is operating around the city, because we also don't have a national tracking system. I don't even think there's a national, I mean, there is a GPS tracking system that exists in
Mm-hmm.
Juba. So we have just seen an opportunity there, and that is when we work on the registrations and what and everything with the papers. We signed the agreements with some our suppliers. The system is built,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to make sure that every single bike that operate under under the Juba City Council, they shall make it as a must that if you are. Yeah, so the reason why we met with the mayor yesterday is that we just propose how best we can help them solve the crime around the city, because if you look at the country, like like most of the East African country, this is the only way they're using to minimize theft. Okay, the technology right now is the only powerful tools that they can use to minimize theft and all these things. So and it's the same thing that we are also doing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is it.
Awesome. And I know, obviously, you being such at a young age and already having established a company and then having a team that's working around you, what would like since I wanted to know what would you say is like one of your most memorable moments so far as a business owner? You're like, wow, we actually did this. Like you're proud of it.
Yes, when we started in very funny kind of way because I think I remember telling you that ideas really work well when you decide to work on how you can modernize them and then start trying to think out of the box. What can I bring in? What can make this one of the best that we have here?
Mm-hmm.
When we started, it was just something very simple. Me myself, I used to work as a border rider myself. I have nothing that I'm doing. I'm just idle at home, sleeping all the time. It was so really hard. Okay, that
Mm-hmm.
can not only support ourselves, but I can say that as far since we started from now, I can say yes, there had been a little bit growth that has come with it, and at some point also there is young people that we are also looking after too, because around the city right now, people admire what we do and they feel like those guys, yes, they are doing well, they're smart. And I always keep telling my team that this is the reason why we should never fail, because if we did, we're giving the rest of the young people a reason not to even try. You see? So yes, I'm very happy bringing young people together, and I work with anyone as long as you have the brain and the mindset to help grow what we are doing. And I really feel excited. So that's okay. There had been so much growth. The whole country have like understand that the contribution that we are putting into the transportation industry,
Mm-hmm.
and what I'm currently doing help me travel most of the African country to also interact and meet with the rest of young innovators around the world, network and market with them. So yeah, it's okay. It's very wonderful. Yeah.
It's amazing. And congratulations on all that you do. And I'm wishing you all the best. And I know you guys are going to be doing some amazing, amazing things. And today, even like, us sharing this story of yours to other South Sudanese that are like, in Canada or USA or across around the world, they'll be able to see like, the stuff that you guys are doing. And maybe they will be able to reach out to you guys and actually, become an investor or become a support in some sort. And it's always great to highlight these type of stories because we have a lot of talent in South Sudan, and it's just a matter of people actually, putting you guys on a mainstream media to actually recognize the work that you guys doing down there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. There are a lot of young, intelligent, and smart people around here, and the problem is that they lack what they can come to showcase what they are doing. You might be really doing good, but it's hard for other people to really see and understand, and that's where the power of the media come from right now. On my personal level, I can also say that you are really doing good, because I've been seeing a lot of interview that you're doing, trying to show that yes, we also have people that are brand. South Sudan has been misunderstood, right? Wherever I go right now, people get shocked. They be like, we don't expect to be having people like this and all this. They feel like South Sudanese are just some kind of people that can never even think of doing their own things or even trying to sort out their own things. You
Mm-hmm.
see? And one, you happen to be a young person that is also trying to pursue his dream that had never been supported by anyone else, that doesn't have all these big uncles, all these things. Then there will be a narrative now that come in. So any young person can do whatever they wanted. When we came here, we definitely came to look for jobs. But when it failed, then we find a reason for living.
Yeah.
Okay, we find something that we are doing, and that thing give us a reason now to live. You see?
Mhm.
because we are working on it all the time, most of the time. So I do really appreciate what you're doing. You're really doing good too, because if there had been young people that had been hurt all over the world, or maybe all over the Africa, you're also very amazing. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Definitely. And one thing I want to say, obviously, for a lot of young people that might be right now looking at your interview and be inspired by it, what is one advice would you give them to make sure that, give them a reality check of like what it takes to be a business owner? So what advice would you give them at a personal level?
Um, what I always said is that when you wanted to have a colorful job and make, I mean, get a very simple and easy life, okay, and it doesn't work like that. If we look at the people that inspired us right now to be who we are, people we look after to, they have a very fast. I mean, they have a very bad stories. They came along the way. They came from many like stress and a lot of issues.
Mhm.
So whenever you're planning to start something, just believe in yourself. Like, know that you can do it, because we have the same mindset as human beings. Okay, if there's a person who is really doing good, just know that you can also do good, as long as you work on yourself, you keep improving what you're doing, like you learn from the mistakes. Because
Mhm.
whenever we made a mistake, I always keep telling the team that this is not a mistake, this is something that is really teaching us now to not to do it again. You see, we take it as opportunities and learn from it and keep improving and keep improving. So just believe in yourself. That's the only thing I can tell. That believe in yourself, have your own dream. It's the right time for us right now to come up, instead of being big people. They come, you do their ink and it finish. But when you decide to work on your own career, you can change the whole community, you can change the whole narrative, you can also inspire the next generation that is coming. People will be like, with time I want to be like this person. You already inspired them. Okay, they will really work hard to be I mean to also reach the same level that you are in. So that is what I can say.
Most definitely. Those are all great advice, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them are going to be listening to this. So one thing I wanted to ask you before you leave, where can people find you on all the social media? Where can they follow either Nile Boda or just you itself to be able to, follow up with you after the interview? Where can they find you?
So I have my Twitter account, which is Mayang Tut. I also have my official Facebook account. I mean, like page, which is Mayang Tut. I have my link. So anyone can reach me out through my Youngs, or if you cannot reach out through my Young, of course, there's Nile Boda official. There is a Nile Boda official page in Facebook, in LinkedIn, and all this. You can reach out to that page. There's people who respond to you, and if it's something I mean, if it's something that need me, they can be able to also reach me through that. So that's the way people can be able to reach me. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I just want to say, thank you so much for being here today. I know your story is going to be inspiring a lot of people across the world, and just continue doing on what you're doing. And always, if you have anything that promotional wise you would love for us to share and add it to this interview or even going forward, feel free to reach back to me. I'll be more than happy to also support in that nature.
Yeah, we thank you so much. We'll definitely reach back to you very soon, because now we have started something new that is officially going to be launched apart from Nile Border, but it will be operating under the Nile Border. So we'll reach back to you. Otherwise, thank you so much. I really appreciate you're doing good. You're really doing amazing. Keep
Thank
doing that.
Thank you. It was a pleasure having you today. Take care.
No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic. Got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play out